What are you doing in there?
Oh, we're just getting our line out to the chiller and our line in from the chiller to the tank. We're pretty much all plumbed up other than some pipe clamps or hose clamps. We're pretty much ready to go. We've got our manifold all set up here, so we've got one line here that controls the flow going out to the chiller and back to the tank. This is a spare line that he'll use down the line if he wants for algae scrubber or whatever, something over here. And we've got two other lines here that'll feed GFO and carbon reactors. And what I'm thinking is a couple canister filters up here for GFO and carbon, and then we'll use 3/8 inch push lock type of fittings, John Guest fittings, to go into there. Keep it clean and easy plumbing. So
Cool.
yeah, next
And that's
step.
the sump over there that's got its drain line, so it's almost ready to go. And Condi is doing his magic work on the rock.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
And welcome back to the final part of this 4-part installation of my 180-gallon glass reef tank. After draining and disassembling the old 12-year-old 125-gallon acrylic reef tank, we've now replaced it with a 60-inch long, 24-inch wide, 30-inch tall glass reef tank.
So you're mounting the controller for
The Jabo.
the Jabo pump.
We catch up with Scott, who is now setting up the internal water pump system.
I assume he's not mounted it yet.
No, I've got it ready to be mounted. Just need the power supply for it. Which that just slips up into that hole there, don't it?
And Condi has created an impressive, intriguing, and intertwining live rock sculpture inside the tank.
Okay, so it's a 10-inch tall oak canopy. There are 4 LED light strips, Reef Bright light strips inside there. For now, they'll all be set up today to independently run on their own ballast, but as I understand it, at some point, Reef Bright has also provided a apex controllable ballast that'll allow, I guess, all of them to dim separately or together. I'm not sure at this point, but thank you to Tulio for Reef Bright's portion of the reef tank. Alright, so it looks like Condi's got the rock foundation done. Quite the 3D version. Branches, caves, shelves, all kinds of rooms, landing zones for corals and such. Good job. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah?
I like it. All the way around the tank, like from all the 3 angles.
It'll even look even sexier once it gets water in there too. So you've got 4 strips you're going to be positioning inside there.
Yeah, that's right.
With Scott working on installing the LED lights, Condi and Reggie are now ready to add the sand to the tank.
So we're going to put some sand back in, and I was overruled earlier this morning and told I couldn't put the old sand back into the tank, so.
Phosphates, nutrient buildup, so start out fresh.
Okay, hang on a minute. So we're getting ready to put bags of sand in there. Just really only got up 40 pounds at the moment because I didn't anticipate it, so I can always get some more at a later time.
You have 80 pounds.
Is it 80 pounds? Oh,
You have
okay.
two 20,
Oh,
each bag is 20 pounds.
It may be enough then, who knows.
Over the years, I've had both the sand bottom as well as the bare bottom tank. While the bare bottom is easier to clean, the sand bottom looks much more realistic.
As we add more color, because fish tanks are like art. You saw how it looked bare without the sand. Now with the sand is going to give it, just more
Definition. Definition.
Like the bare bottom.
We all like bare bottom, Scott.
I knew that was coming.
At least 5 gallons of water is gonna, so when we do add it, it's not gonna create that cloudiness.
When it comes to the new technology in aquarium lighting, specifically LED style lighting, it can become confusing. Aside from all the advancements, there's still the issue of application. Many LED lights either sit on top of the tank or are designed to be suspended above the tank. For me, I wanted to use strips that I could place inside the canopy's lid.
Okay, so once again I've been outruled. We're going to end up putting 60, 70 gallons of the old clean water back into the tank, but I guess that's what it was for. Although I do have 200 gallons of brand new clean water. But again, I was outruled, so Condi is spreading the sand around, getting a little pre-aquascape going before the water goes into the tank. And over here, Scott is cursing to himself for some odd reason.
Yeah, I could have done things a little differently.
Looks like an Oompa Loompa that's sitting down there. Come to this side. So it's a strip of white, a strip of blue, a strip of white, a strip of blue.
That's right.
Yeah. And for now they'll all be, other than the ones that we have the two inline dimmers for, the other two will be 100%, but the apex at some point down the road will allow us to control each strip.
That's correct.
All right. Well, happy drilling there.
Yeah, what I did is decided I could reverse these brackets and I don't have to sit there and measure everything out so
Right.
ridiculously.
Right.
Footing around and actually.
So that you can do that, and that is the easier way.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
normally.
because you can flip the bracket around and then put it inside and then screw it in, as opposed to measure where you think it's supposed to be, screw it, and then hope you got it in the right
Exactly.
spot.
The other thing about
Yeah.
these brackets is the lights.
That's kind of what I thought when I glanced at it originally.
The lights normally have this bracket here, using the lower,
Right.
if you will. Instead, I've kind of reversed the brackets so
Right.
we get them down a little bit closer to the water. Because as it is, there'll be several.
But they also, the
inches.
tongue is out now as opposed to in,
Correct.
which means you can put the bracket on and then screw it in,
Yeah.
whereas you had to measure or guess before.
Exactly.
Well, maybe that was just a clever way of shipping them and not the actual intended method. Maybe what you think you
Yeah.
discovered was the intended method.
I think they intended to use this side too to mount to the canopy.
Uh-huh.
It's got more holes there.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, these aren't going anywhere.
Well, maybe when this video posts, Tulio will, as they say, chime in and answer that question for us.
I think it can go either way. I don't think that there's any.
Either way, so it's AC/DC. Ooh. So we're switching from an AC system, we're adding a DC pump, so that makes the lights AC/DC. That was clever. Wasn't that funny? Just shake your head, yes.
Look,
It was good. It was clever.
No matter fact,
The pump is DC,
actually, we need to put one of the songs on right now.
and the what was it? Was AC?
One of them was AC, the other one was DC.
Switching from an AC pump to a DC pump that makes the lights AC/DC. I'm such a poet and don't know it.
Good. I can't believe you said that on camera.
I'll edit it out. Okay. So I hear water in the tank, and I hear more than just what he's pouring in with the jug. So I think we are officially christening the tank. Oh yes, oh, waterfall. I don't know, I see a lot more money being spent. More money than I spent on the other tank. Ay, ay, ay. Terrarium. Is that what I'm in? Where's the frogs and the lizards?
Should have done it for freshwater, huh?
Yeah, no way. Very cool.
I'm gonna put your live rock or whatever where your bag is, like just the bottom part, inside where the skimmer is.
How much do we have left? Do you have any of that stuff that had the yellow sponge left on it? That's what I'd prefer to put down there. If there's any of that.
You gotta put it in water.
Orange sponge stuff is gone.
You used it here? That's okay too. So she's filling up, a little hazy and expected so. And how's Scott coming along on the lights here? Looks pretty good. Oh, he's doing a macrame or a braiding harness arrangement. Very cool.
Need something to cut the tie wraps with.
Are you ready to update your aquarium lighting to LEDs, but are confused with the gimmicks, the colors, gadgets, and programming? Let Reef Bright help you with straightforward LED lighting strips. Similar to your old tube lighting, Reef Bright's XHO and Tech LED light strips are long, narrow units packed with a row of 1 or 3 watt LED bulbs, 3 color choices, a 10K white, a 50-50 mix, and a blue actinic. Reef Bright's LED light strips easily mount to the inside of your canopy or use the 3 or 5 unit mounting brackets to attractively suspend multiple strips over the top of your tank. Reef Bright also offers metal halides and metal halide LED combinations. You can find us on the internet at selected dealers and local fish shops, or visit us at reefbright.com.
Hi there, my name's Jim Steim and you know me as the LA Fish Guy. Well, I also wear a couple of other hats. One of them is the jellyfish tank called the Jelly Aquarium, and the third is myfishtank.com. I offer an entire line of acrylic aquariums ranging from rectangular to hexagon, flatback hex, as well as the custom curve front aquariums. There's also an entire line of stands and canopies ranging from MDF to pine to oak with a variety of different finishes available. And the website is even smart enough that you can calculate what the freight and crate charges to your location will be. That's myfishtank.com.
And as the tank fills up,
Here's that water going over.
it begins to spill into the internal overflow and work its way down to the sump below.
Fill up the sump. Yeah, not that.
And as the sump level rises, I have to hold down the protein skimmer, at least until it fills itself up with water. so that it won't float away.
Nice that that old, brand new pump worked on its first time. It's an old Reef Dynamics, what became Euro Reef protein skimmer. It's a Cedra pump, a Venturi valve driven.
Raise up the what you call it, on the side.
I would contemplate here shortly also pulling the plug on the sump pump.
Now, make a note here. That new DC water pump, it's so quiet, no one heard it come on. It's now pumping water out to the chiller and bleeding the air out of the line.
I would pull that plug now. We don't know how much water is going to back siphon.
Well, I'm turning the pump on right now. Pump's ramping up.
What do you mean ramping up? Should be coming on. Oh. Okay.
Right, can you go this from there? Let's connect that pump.
Unplug that sump pump out of the saltwater container. So you're hooking up a power strip to drive a ballast, okay? And then at the moment our controlling limiting factor is restrictors that are in the white side. So it's all 4 lights on at one time, all 4 lights off, but I can control, in this case, the 2 whites or something.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. It gives more of a blue effect. And apparently the system is running and the Jabo pump is pumping water and it's moving it into your manifold, which I have to assume has valves open to send water out to the chiller, and that in turn is coming back up into the tank to the returns that apparently look like they might be underwater at the moment.
Yeah,
I need to extend the knuckles on there much further out, get that higher up so it doesn't have as much of a back siphon. Doesn't seem like a really strong flow at the moment. Is that...
That's because I only have it set to 50%, actually not even 50%.
Aha, and this being a DC pump has a controllable speed or amount of power.
That's correct.
Oh, so it's running at, you say, 50% at the moment.
Yeah, I can't see what the flow looks like, so there's no point.
Right. Now we could be hooking up the Jabo internal pumps in here, huh?
You can.
Oh, wow. Man, this is like a Jabo tank, eh? Jabo water movement machine.
Yeah.
Like Scott. Okay, so the tank is filled up with water and the LED lights are in. Filter system is running. Protein skimmer is doing its thing. We're just waiting for the Micron sock to polish the water, so unfortunately you won't be able to see what it looks like inside. A couple of things that we've discovered. I haven't talked with Scott yet, but he's telling me the pump is at full speed, and for this size tank that might be fine.
We still got the Jabos to put in there.
We can increase the water movement inside, but the thing that stands out to me right away, I don't know if this is visible yet, is the gap between the water level and the canopy.
Where's the other filter sock?
It's in the sink. And it's a pet peeve of mine that just irritates the you-know-what out of me. And we could put a bigger pump on the system to try to raise that water level up, but I think the overflow, which has big teeth in it, is going to swallow all of that, and even though we could benefit from the extra flow in the system, I'm not sure if the filter is capable of taking that increased flow.
Plus, we set this system up for 3/4 inch plumbing for the pump. And the way everything is plumbed right now, to put in a bigger pump really would do an awful lot for us, in large part because it is kind of restricted.
When in fact the real source of the problem is the canopy should be modified to come lower. And it has shoulders on the inside that putting a micron sock in there to try to filter out the fine particles sooner.
That sock's going to plug up quick.
Right, right.
So
It appears as though the shoulders, which is what the tank canopy rests on, top of the tank are just some small ones. So we're going to take the canopy back off and we're going to see if we can take those off ourselves.
well, we can take them off ourselves, and they are glued. I'll get them off, but I'm just worried if these screws are too long. Don't worry about that.
Okay, so the canopy, which has little shoulders that rest on the tank, and that's what determines, or should I say the space between those shoulders, is what determines how far it overlaps the tank. Well, as usual, and this is my pet peeve, they don't allow enough. Inch and a half isn't enough, and it needs to be a half inch to 3/4 of an inch more. So these appear to be stapled on
It was stapled and glued.
with glue, so we're not sure if how easy they're going to come off.
Butter.
It looks like they come off fairly easily. So that's where the glue part comes in.
Sucks.
Alright, so what we'll end up doing is having to drill holes into the pieces of wood, the shoulders, and then re-screwing them back on. We don't have a stapler that can penetrate that. So these are the oak pieces, and basically what I'm doing is we've cut out the old staples, and I'm going to drill some holes through them so we can screw them into their new position.
All high tech, busting out the drill press. Drill those holes a little bit larger than the screw so we don't split the wood. You see Jim has his eye protection on.
Yes, I do. Well, if I didn't have that, there are a pair of safety glasses here, so I always think about that. I'm too old to lose my eyes. So we've drilled out all those shoulders, and he's now screwing the new shoulders into place. We've risen them about another 3/4 of an inch.
Drilled our screws, or cut our screws shorter too. So we don't have
Yeah. So essentially we should be able to drop the canopy 3/4 of an inch, which should bring it down just preferably a hair below the water's surface.
Yep, I measured it so that it was basically an 1/8 inch on the lowest side, a little more than 1/8 of an inch.
So that we don't have to see the water's surface, or certainly worse yet, above.
And with the canopy's shoulders adjusted, we can now place it back on top of the tank.
There it is.
There it is.
It seems to drop down over the water's surface as well.
There's the fan.
So why do I make such a stink about the canopy's position? It's simple. I want you to look in the tank, not into the canopy. If it's equipment that you want to see, that can be a separate tour. First impressions should be into the aquarium, not into the cabinetry.
So the boys are now all gone. Thank you very much, Scott. Thank you, Condi, and thank you, Reggie. Appreciate your help and the good work that you performed today. The tank is clearing up, and you're beginning to get an idea as to what kind of unique aquascaping they've done inside the tank. The Jabo internal pumps are in. The Jabo DC pump is running the system. The LED lights from Reef Bright are in and on. The protein skimmer is running, and things look pretty good. I'll give you some future updates as we go along, but until then, this has been a long day, but you know, you start on a job or a mission, and there is an end point, a goal. So always you want to kind of keep going in that direction, and you know, keep moving forward.